It's hard to imagine, looking at this beautiful Moor Street Station today, that around 20 years or so ago, it was just a dilapidated example of a former age in Birmingham. Nestled behind the city's main shopping streets, this old worldy style station sits comfortably against the backdrop of the new, iconic, futuristic looking Bullring store. It's only when you delve into Moor Street's checkered past that it soon becomes clear that the original station, which was initially created to help ease the burden on neighbouring Snow Hill, was lucky to survive. The Great Western Railway had served Birmingham since early Victorian times, with the main station being at Snow Hill. Due to the limited space available at Snow Hill, the GWR purchased land at Moor Street so they could build a new station for local services that came into the city of Birmingham from the south. A grand opening of the station took place on the 1st of July 1909. During the 1930s, the station was both enlarged and extended, and on the 1st of January 1948, Birmingham Moor Street became part of British Railways Western Region. However, During the early 1960s, the former GWR lines in Birmingham were transferred to the London Midland region, and British Railways saw the line between Birmingham Snow Hill and London Paddington as a duplicate route. Indeed, from 1966, all of the mainline services were diverted to Birmingham New Street. By March 1968, the line between Snow Hill and Birmingham Moor Street, including the Snow Hill Tunnel, closed, leaving Moor Street as an isolated terminus for a handful of local trains. Moor Street came under threat of closure by 1969, but 5 local authorities objected and took the case to the High Court, which sided with the local authorities, preventing closure. But by the mid-1970s, the station was at its lowest ebb. The original station was simply allowed to deteriorate, and by the late 1990s, the former platforms were overgrown and dilapidated. In its day, a major source of traffic at the station was in the goods yard, where fresh fruit and vegetables were delivered and were taken straight to the nearby markets in the Bullring. All of this came to an end in the early 1970s. Thankfully, the buildings at Moor Street were Grade 2 listed and therefore could not be demolished. As the years passed by, passenger numbers on local services in the Birmingham area had increased, and Birmingham New Street had become congested. As a result, it was decided to relay the original GWR main line into Snow Hill from the south, and as part of the works, a new Moor Street Station was built on the main line, just to the southeast of the point where it passed into the Snow Hill Tunnel. In 2002, an £11 million transformation of Moor Street Station began, and passenger trains returned to the original tracks in December 2010. And today, Moor Street is the city's second busiest station. After being restored to its former glory, this beautiful Grade 2 listed Moor Street Station has won the well-deserved accolade of the Marylebone of the Midlands. It is one of Birmingham's few original stations that still exists, and I think the reason for this was that it was forgotten. It was originally built as a backup for Snow Hill, for when that station got too crowded. It's never been a big terminus, and now that the shopping axis has moved closer to Moor Street over the years due to the Bullring, the station has been restored and rebuilt. Well, I've commuted into this station on a number of occasions, and I think one of the things that I really like about Moor Street is that it has retained its period charm, which is something that's sadly lacking in some of our other busy city centre stations these days. Well, in this video, I've talked a lot about the past and also the present, but what about the future? Because just a stone's throw away from here is Curzon Street, which is going to be at the heart of the High Speed 2 rail network in the West Midlands. I decided to head over to Curzon Street and take a look. The new high-speed rail station is being built on the site of Birmingham's 19th century station at Curzon Street. According to the HS2 website, the station will be net zero carbon in operation, as well as adopting the latest eco-friendly designs and sustainable technologies. Archaeology on site has unearthed a train roundhouse, which is the oldest in the world, and one of the things I really like is that the design will incorporate this original historic station building of 1838, linking it to the new station's eastern concourse at New Canal Street. The station is being constructed on land bounded by Curzon Street, but also Eastside Park and Moor Street Queensway to the east of the city centre. And the project is due to complete between 2026 and 2029. In addition to the station itself, it is intended to invest over £700 million regenerating the area around Curzon Street. The scheme is estimated will take place over 30 years, leading to the creation of several new neighbourhoods across almost 150 hectares, including 4,000 new homes and 36,000 jobs. One of the promoted aims of the HS2 project is to ease congestion on the existing rail network, meaning that additional local and regional train services can be added where they're most needed. The new Curzon Street station will be a gateway to both Britain's and Europe's high-speed railway network.